did I just decide to go live from this big dinosaur phone? Probably because I don't plan on being here very long. Real quick. About witchcraft not being abuse. Hold on a minute, I'm making coffee. Mm-hmm. Good morning, everybody. Whoever is here. This channel has been flagged so much, it is ridiculous. It is absolutely and utterly ridiculous. I wish that I would have went live from the Witch's Broom channel with this message, but that's okay though because I'll just link it. I have a couple of videos that I need to take down from when I was in beast mode. And literally I go into beast mode. I am a Cancer. What the? That's not adding up. That's not measuring up. Okay, hold on. A little bit more water. All righty. Okay, let's get this coffee going. I wanted to come on here and speak about this real quick. You know what I realized? I realized that no matter what community that some people are in, they tend to bring, what they are used to seeing and how they are used to probably how they grew up on this website. Okay. And I wanted to come on here and say very clearly that witchcraft is not abuse. It's not a thing to where it is to be used to go around terrorizing or tormenting people. And I think that there are a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, but there are some people, and I do kind of know why some of these people were sort of drawn to me, and it is because I am a healer. Like naturally, I'm a healer, and being a healer very often attracts people that need to be healed, people that need work done on them, right? It does. It attracts those kind of people to you. I don't like that because some of the people that literally follow me around, okay, hold on. People literally have been following me around for too long. People that don't believe in healing. And I am extremely resentful about that because that, again, I shouldn't have to deal with and be bothered with people that insist on being broken, insist on being evil, insist on trying to make it seem like, witchcraft is about being evil, or getting vengeance on somebody, and settling the score with people. It can be about that. It can be about balance. That's what it's about. Balance is really important, because there's some people that will like to try to put their energy off on other people, their negativity, their bad spirits. And then, of course, there are people that think that they got these bad spirits that they can just go and sacrifice other people to. They gonna give they just gonna randomly roll up on people and sacrifice them to whatever demon has been tormenting them. And it does not work that way, because I can imagine that after a whole life of trying to harm people and damage other people, it still doesn't work. So I don't understand why people continuously do that. I don't exactly understand why. I hate that. I despise that. I hate it when people think that witchcraft is a space where they can just take out all their crap on other people, and then they go to the church for peace, when witchcraft has been a source of peace for me. Meditation has been a source of peace for me. And there are some people that they will go into a meditative state just so that they can attempt to abuse others. If you can get yourself in a meditative state at all, why use that and waste that on trying to psychically attack people? This is something that I really despise. I really do. I really do. I cannot stand that. Witchcraft is not abuse. And now I have had to, since I have had to deal with certain folks that are in certain energies, I have had to fight with you are, in my opinion, it is something wrong with you when you go to social media and people have to literally fight with you. There is no excuse for you to be on a website fighting with people for over a decade because you have unresolved issues within yourself. For some reason, yesterday, the stalkers were kind of on a rampage, though, for some reason. Actually, the past few days. I don't know why y'all always do that, just short of the new moon and the full moons. I think that y'all are on autopilot. You really don't have uh, control over yourselves a lot of the times. Nobody will ever understand why any responsible adult would decide to come to social media to start arguments and beefs with other people, and to keep that going and to maintain that for years. But you know what? I do know this. I do know that within this spiritual warfare, it is not about keeping chaos going. It is not. Okay? It is about finding order from that chaos, which is why I believe that the police need to stop ignoring. You know what they do? The police, I will tell you what I've seen them do a lot is whenever there is an issue within social media, they'll just say, oh, well, they'll tell the person to get out of social media. And that's not right for them to do that, because cyber stalking is a crime. Okay. So, I'm not saying that all police do that, but I think that they don't make it a priority. They really don't. They don't prioritize people being stalked on the internet, and they should. They should prioritize it. Part of the reason, the main reason, is people that use social media to take out vengeance against others. Now, and I'm gonna give y'all a prime example of that. I gotta get in touch with the police, and I have to really, really explain to them that over 10 years ago, this crazy girl decided that she was going to try to ruin my whole reputation and my whole life on the internet by lying on me. Nobody should ever, the solution, which the police have not told me to do that. I'm just saying that I've seen them do that. But imagine somebody that is taken to the internet to tell egregious lies on you. And in these egregious lies, there are people on that platform that are emotionally unstable, that have no discernment, that don't know the truth. And this person is pitting these people against you. And the next thing you know, you're dealing with threats of violence and terrorism. That's why it's important for the police to get a hold of and get a handle on the things that are happening on the internet. Now, I just had to report somebody to IC3, and she will get reported to the local police. This sick person going around the internet with another person. The other person is deceased now. Going around the internet claiming that I committed a goddamn sex crime against her that I never did, right? I didn't even know this chick had did this. Imagine the emotionally unstable people that can see that and believe what she's saying, and then next thing you know, I'm being terrorized and threatened. Luckily for me, throughout the years, it has happened. But I ain't never had nobody roll up to me and be violent with me. You're promoting terrorism and you're trying to promote violence against people when you come to this website and you spread lies about people. You are. You have an intention of getting that person physically harmed or killed. You do. So that's something altogether different. But as far as witchcraft within itself, it's not a place of war. Some of these folk just grew up in an abusive environment to where people didn't know how to speak to each other. People didn't know how to communicate very well. Or you just grew up around a bunch of abusive people. In fact, witchcraft it is very healing. It is very healing. It is a very healing and very peaceful place to be in. Mm, this coffee is good. Every time I do anything that's considered to be dark, anything that involves spiritual warfare to where I have to defend myself, I go to an extra space of hate and irritation, though, because I cannot stand it when I have to do that, because adults should know how to conduct themselves. Adults should know how to behave. And that is no matter what your spiritual beliefs are, adults should know how to behave, and adults should know how to conduct themselves. In fact, a person that conducts themselves in an abusive manner, it kind of doesn't matter what their spiritual or religious beliefs are. That's just how they conduct themselves. You know what I'm saying? They end up turning every space, every situation, everything into like this war zone. Some people just turn everything. No, bug, get off of my coffee. Damn, outside bugs. I don't know why they always after folk coffee. Yeah, I wasn't raised in an abusive environment. I really was not. And then everybody always assumed that black folk, if you're black, they always assume that, you were raised in an abusive environment. And all black people were not raised in an abusive environment. All of us were not. Some of us were loved and cherished by our families. Some of us grew up in a healthy environment. I know I grew up in a healthy environment. Every black person's life is not the theme of damn Color Purple. You know what I'm saying? The movie The Color Purple. Color Purple. Every black person's life wasn't like that. So I get thoroughly irritated with people on the internet. I really do. I really, really do. Especially people that are prejudiced against black people. What does prejudice means? Prejudice means that you prejudge somebody based upon your idea, your ideology on stereotypes. Good morning, Stefan. Today's Tuesday, Stefan. Today is Tuesday, ain't it? Yeah, happy Tuesday. Oh, goodness. I just woke up. I got some stuff I got to do today. And I was thinking about it last night. I got to remember, normally I write stuff like that down or I take note of it. I can't even remember it right now. I'm going to have to jog my memory. I hate coming to social media and feeling like I'm being forced to fight with people. I hate that, which is why I do healing often. I do a lot of healing work often. You know what I mean? Right. It's okay. It happens, Stevon. You're forgiven thoroughly, 100%. Oh, goodness. I think that witchcraft can be utilized to heal your pain or whatever it is that you suffered, but it's about how you do it. And there are a lot of people that are in the habit of taking their crap out on other people. Nobody should have to suffer because of what somebody else did to you. I can honestly say, thinking back, nobody in my family has ever done anything to me to where I'm seeking vengeance on them in any way, to the point where, because, what I see is a lot of people that have issues with people that they are cool with, family members that they've forgiven, but they still take their anger out on other people, on innocent people. They take that anger out on innocent people. And that ain't right for you to do that. I'm not saying go and take your anger out on that person, but you need to go get some therapy or something, or either if you're going to utilize witchcraft, learn how to transmute all that negativity and anger. Transmuting negativity and anger is not projecting it to somebody else. And I think that it is very suspect that a sex worker, when you see sex workers making sexual accusations and making up lies against innocent people, that is obvious what they are doing. Luckily, I'm good at what I do and I'm not a liar. And luckily, I am an innocent person. Can you imagine how that would change the dynamic of a person's life? How that would change their choices and their options in life? Lying on them, these traumatized people on this website that obviously, let's keep it a buck. A lot of sex workers have been sexually abused. A lot of them have in their childhood. So wouldn't it be convenient to come on the internet and make up something about somebody so that you can target them with all of your anger and hatred and visceral for what somebody else did to you? Now, I will tell you where witchcraft can be very useful. You try to do that to a person, and you that and I can't stand people that know how to front, because I don't believe that people that are doing things like that are actually happy. They can come to social media and be like, "Oh, my life is good and I'm just chilling," and I'm no, you're not. No, you're not. And you know what? I'm thinking about doing a reading to expose this one person that has lied on me for years. And she ain't put no burden on me, trust me. Trust me. They try to make it look like that. That's why they latch on to everything. That's why they looking for every little thing that may be happening that has nothing to do with them. And I can't stand folk that mixes everything together, trying to correlate this. I remember this one chick that literally dropped revenge on me, this older lady. She dropped revenge porn on me literally wanted me to suffer at the hands of what somebody else did to her. And when my family got evicted in Georgia, which literally had nothing to do with these people on the goddamn internet. That was my own personal journey. That had to do with me and my journey in life. That was my path in life in that situation. Had nothing to do with her. She came on here and tried to say, oh, well, that was karma. Are you kidding me? Imagine if every adult was that stupid. We would have no justice. We would have no standards. Yeah, a little bitty tiny bug just went down in my coffee. We would have no standards. Landlords would just be able to do whatever they wanted to do. There would be no standards set. That's so irresponsible. I do know one thing, that there is standards that are established through witchcraft, actually. Standards. You can't go throughout life without standards. Without some kind of moral compass. You know what I'm saying? And, it just, the people like that do not set any standards. They don't. And if it were not for people like me, what the hell? Why am I being attacked by bugs out here? If it were not for people like me that set standards, we would be screwed. People that's just going around emotionally. Again, this other person that tried to claim that what I was dealing with was karma for something I had done to her, even though this lady literally is in a whole delusion. I swear to God, she's in a delusion. Imagine somebody being that mentally ill to where all you do is say hello to them and you're doing something to them and you have it out for them and you're trying to do something to them and you're trying to hurt them. We all know that it was her cunning way of making up crap because she's full of crap. It was all a fraud. But it's just the point, for somebody to operate that way. And people shouldn't go through that just because they came to social media. And it's not even necessarily a problem with social media itself. It's people's behavior in social media. People that don't know how to behave themselves, people that, and so I want to talk about this gang stalking thing real quick. And you know what? With that, it's a live stream that I've been meaning to do on the Witch's Broom channel, to where I want to talk about realities and the realities that some people live in versus others. And then I also want to talk about body snatching, soul snatching a little bit, because people really don't know how deep the rabbit hole can actually go. Because there's so many people out here that are not in control of their vessel. They're just empty seeders for evil. Anywho. People shouldn't, like, Every adult should learn how to conduct themselves. But going back to the gang stalking thing, there is not like I do agree that the gang stalking networks are out of control, and that doesn't mean that as an adult you like I've been getting gang stalked for years. Never have I once went to a public establishment and got to yelling and screaming. This is when you got to check yourself. You can't take it out on the rest of the damn world that you're being gang stalked, because everybody ain't no gang stalker. Everybody ain't gang stalking you. This is when you have lost total touch with reality. And I've seen people that are gang, listen, and people that poke at gang stalkers, it is a fact that they are trying to get that person to do something to themselves or either others. So that person can turn very dangerous. Now, I personally don't live in a reality where I'm going to go somewhere and some crazy person going to start acting a fool. My spirits would totally, my spirits would totally have me avoid that place if necessary. They'd be like, no, don't go there. Okay. Now, you can't help what happens at the workplace sometimes. Sometimes you just might work around crazy folk, people that are going through it. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry. I just been belching lately. But, you still have to get a grip. It ain't the whole world's fault if you're being gang stalked. If you like, these gang stalking networks are annoying as hell, but you can't take that out on everybody. And people shouldn't have to treat you like you a damn invalid. You need to grow up. Yeah, it's messed up that you're being gang stalked, but for you to go around screaming and hollering and doing all of that, that means that the gang stalkers have gotten you wrapped around their finger. And at any moment, they can pull the strings to make you become a danger to yourself and other people. Straight up and down. A bug went in, and some hair. Some hair went in my coffee. It's some. Please make some more because it's a little tiny bug. A little bit teeny tiny bug, y'all. Why do bugs do that? They know they gonna just go in there and die. I don't know why they do that. Anywho, gang stalkers are very strange people. They have fixations. They can become fixated on a person. That's the MO of a gang stalker. They have to have the ability to get fixated on somebody, and then also they have to have the ability to not have a life. That's all that a gang stalker has to do, is to not actually have a real life. There's no way as a woman that I would ever spend any hour of my day focused on gang stalking any goddamn body. Now, if I have to deal with somebody that is an adversary of my client, then I may spend 20 minutes in meditation, because I don't do my work like some people do. In fact, I don't even do my work the way I used to. I take a totally different approach to that, to where, because I like my time. I like to be able to spend time with my children, my grandchildren. I like to cook. I like to spend time with my man. I like to have a life. So and I have witnessed these people, because I can channel other people and I can see what they doing. It don't even matter. You can put up protection. I can see you. You can't be protected from me. When you are responsible with your craft, you get that kind of you get when you are a witch that is responsible with your craft, you get that kind of honor and favor. So you can't be protected from me. Okay? You can't. Sorry, you can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to do some kind of half-cocked protection spell so that Jamila can't see me. I'm still going to be able to see your ass. And I done seen some of these crazy people. And, you know, honestly, I don't like some of these people. I can be quite evil. I can. And it's not evil, but I just believe in happiness being a virtue. Okay? I'm a good witch. Okay? I believe in happiness and having a good time and love and peace and healing. I feel like that's a virtue. So, you know, but I've seen some of these people, they be in meditation for like 2, 3, 4 hours. And they just be focused and pinpointed on one person. I've had people do that to me. I can always tell when a person is in meditation on me, and my spirits will come and pop you in your damn nose. They will come pop you in your nose and totally disrupt. You know, my spirits will be very disruptive and problematic if you're trying to psychically attack me. And that's even when I'm asleep. Obviously, that is what you have to do, especially with some of these people. And I don't even think that these people, a lot of them are even born with natural abilities. I think that what they do is they're able to tap in through some of these frequencies. That's not a natural ability. Listening to a frequency does not give you a natural ability. You're listening to a frequency that is making your brain do that. So that's why they're able to do that for hours and hours and hours. And they don't care about having a life. They don't. If people spent a lot more time living life, it would be better for other people. If everybody had a damn life, some of these folk ain't got no life. Okay, some of them ain't got no life. I don't even know what to say to these people. All I know is that it's an embarrassment, but then again, it's not an embarrassment because every woman that calls herself being spiritual does not represent me as a woman and what I would do. And there are ways, especially because when you are doing stupid stuff with the craft that you shouldn't be doing, you leave yourself wide open. There should be no gang stalker. Like when gang stalkers began to stalk witches, that was a problem. Because if you're a gang stalker, honey, you can claim all day and night that you a witch, but you're not. Because gang stalkers are on a totally different frequency. They are on a totally different plane. They are on a totally different timeline than witches. And I guess it would have to depend on what type of witch that you are. I don't give accreditation to witches that are doing things that are that unorthodox. You're emulating. You're trying to emulate a witch. That's what gang stalkers do. Gang stalkers, they always try to take on the identity of the target, which is totally ridiculous. It'd be about 100 of them trying to all be the same goddamn person at the same damn time. Because they don't have no identity. Gang stalkers are very idiotic people who don't have an identity. And yeah, I am a problem for you. If you're a gang stalker, I am a direct adversary of you. And you don't want to be my adversary. You really don't. And I don't care how these people front. They can front like, oh, I'm doing all this stuff to Jamila and I'm saying all this stuff about Jamila. You fronting, honey. Ain't no future in your fronting. And I hate that they bought that to the spiritual witchy community. I hate that they did that. I really do. Because they made it more difficult for witches to do their job. A lot of people, they're like, oh, it's all about Jesus and that witchcraft is evil. But in reality, we know, if you are an authentic witch, you know what it is that you do. You know what it is that you do and what you contribute to other people. You know what you contribute to your family. You know what it is that you are doing. Straight up and down. Okay? You know exactly what the assignment is. And it really, to be honest with you, it revolves around this planet. It revolves around planet Earth. It really does. It revolves around that. Okay? Okay, so, and nature. But then among other things, okay? Some of these people and their ideas of spirituality, I don't agree with. A lot of these people that be like, oh, Earth is a prison and it's a prison for the soul. And that I don't agree with that. I think that Earth and life is what you make it. So, I think that it's important to make peace with your issues, even when it comes to religion. And I've seen religion do some miracles. I've seen Christianity and I've seen Jesus do miracles on people. Okay. But I also think that before you step beyond that, and you start channeling and doing all kind of stuff, I think that you need to at least make peace with the issues that you had in your childhood. Practicing witchcraft enough is a doorway that opens up so much. And if you're still dealing, if you haven't dealt with properly, issues that you have within your childhood, you just doubling down on yourself. And then especially if you know how to do any kind of energy work, now you're there. I have seen people that have a lot of problems. They're and they will try to push that negativity to innocent people that have nothing to do with their fucking problems. So I can promise you, listen, if you've been molested as a child or something like that, and you decide that you're going to listen to that stupid person that's claiming that I had sex with a 13-year-old or something, which I didn't, and you try to take that shit out on me, you're going to get fucked up. You're going to get fucked up because that shit is not true. So you're not going to take your shit on what your uncle or your daddy did to you or whatever the hell out on me. I already take enough for people. I already deal with enough for people. You're not going to put that shit off on me. You're not going to burden me. Because I deal with enough people that I love that don't do that are suffering, that I love, that went through shit as a child, and I'm already dealing with their shit. I'm not going to deal with your shit either. I'm not going to do it. Well, it ain't been a long time, Adam Muhammad. It's only been like a week or so since you've been here, but I'm fine. I'm always good. Child, please. Hey, let me tell you something. If I ever wasn't good, I know how to in record time make myself feel good. I know how to fix it. That's the one thing about me. Ain't none of these silly people. I am an advanced species than these people. I am advanced. Look at how long it's been happening. And they be going through it. They just be just it'd be like a tug of war, y'all. And they not wrangling me. They mangling themselves. They be trying to make it seem like they flexing or like they're physically there trying to beat up on me. Those people don't ever touch me. They don't. Even when they was I've been swatted on this website. I've had false CPS calls called in on me. Honey, let me tell you something. I ain't never been in no position where I felt uncomfortable or accused of anything. CPS roll up on me. They already know who I am. Last CPS agent that I spoke to, the last one that I spoke to, she was like 9 months pregnant. Okay? That lady was sweet as pie to me. She knew exactly who I was. And she told me, she said, I came to help. And she did. All of them. I've had CPS agents come to me and be like, they start talking to me about their issues. People know I ain't no damn child predator. People know who I am. So I ain't never felt like, oh, this is a burden. I ain't never felt that way. Even when I'll never forget when I was in Georgia, y'all, they called the police to my house. They drove by and they called the police to my house. And so I look outside and I can see the police officer out there. He's a cute black man too. And I could see him creeping up listening. And I opened the door. I said, hey, how you doing? Because I ain't never got no attitude with nobody. Sometimes I get a little kerfluffled, but I don't get no attitude. I opened the door. I said, hey, how you doing? And he was like, well, ma'am, I don't hear no screaming and yelling. He said, I've been standing out here for about 10 minutes and I don't hear nothing. I said, well, what happened? I said, did I get swatted? Or what, I said, somebody called you, didn't they? And he said, yeah, somebody said that it was a bunch of screaming and hollering and fighting going on over here. And I've been standing out here for 10 minutes and I don't hear nothing. I said, yeah, that's because this is a peaceful home. I said, I said, they lied is what I told him. I said, I got stalkers. I said, they on the internet and they mentally ill. And then one time, that one lady over in Georgia, she called the police and said that somebody had me and my children locked in the closet, and the Gwinnett County police came. This was about 5 o'clock in the morning because this lady got mental issues. She has mental problems. And I'll never forget going to the door. That man looked so worried. He was like, he said, ma'am, is everything okay? I said, yeah. I said, we fine. I said, the people on the internet, I said, this lady called them because she's mentally ill. I said, everybody's fine over here. I said, we was in the bed. We was asleep. Can you imagine? Well, hell, they want to talk about people paying bills and rent. Well, hell, you pay your rent and your bills every month, and you got folk doing crap like that. That's why I said a lot of those people that we're dealing with on the internet are not functional. They are not functional human beings. They're not functioning adults. They're not. Anybody that is a functioning adult. What the? Why does that look? That's a bubble, ain't it? Anybody that's a functioning adult knows how difficult. I don't want to say difficult, but I want to say that, when you are an adult and you getting up and you working every day, whether or not you work for yourself or work for somebody else, and you trying to pay your bills. What adult that's taking care of themselves, that are paying their own bills, feels that they should have to live that way, to where people are harassing you? The mentally ill adults are making prank phone calls. And I do think that the police need to get a hold of that. They need anybody that's doing that. That's why I want them to get on that gang stalking network on the internet. They need to get on them people about that. They really do. How is the weight training coming along? It's coming. So far, it's been me gaining weight, but and doing squats. That's pretty much what I do. Just calisthenics. So people are sick, swear. Anywho, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say to y'all. I gotta go. Y'all have a good one. And then one other thing I was going to tell you is that, witches are not here for people to take out their shit on us. We are not here to just be abused. Women are not here to be abused. You try to take out your crap. You try to take out your crap on a witch, and you over here doing that stuff, you going to be in for a rude awakening. Because to be honest with you, it's been horrific stuff that I could have made happen to certain people. But I haven't. Okay? And I already know folk are already going through it. We are not your punching bags. Okay? We are not. I was born this way. And I've always been a kind-hearted person. I have always been the sweetest person. I have, and no witch is just going around unintentionally hurting people. That's a fucking lie. They try to make it seem like, oh, well, I've seen people do that. Try to make it seem like, oh, well, just your existence as a witch, you just make horrible things happen to people. That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. Okay? If that was the case, we could everybody can, anybody, not just a witch, can have a negative attachment, a negative spirit attachment. So so by that logic, you know what I'm saying? So that's not true. I think it's been extremely irresponsible, some of the behaviors of these people claiming that they witches, and they don't let a lot of these negative spirits get out of hand. Negative spirits that probably should have been neutralized, banished off of this earth, destroyed. There's some spirits that need to be destroyed. Negative spirits. It's very irresponsible when you think about from remember that video I made about witches being paranormal experts? Okay. From a paranormal expert point of view, it has been extremely, extremely, and you know what? Luckily, the gods heard us witches, because without us, I'm talking about those of us that do the damn thing, those of us that know what's going on here, that a lot of people are not ready to hear, a lot of people are not ready to accept, right? That's why the gods and the Most High kept us safe, so that innocent people can live. Because these people that are very irresponsible, These people that are very irresponsible made it really, really difficult on us. They did. They just adding the burden and trying to be the distraction, trying to and that's a hell of a distraction. The bigger the distraction that you try to cause, the worse the punishment is going to be from God. And a lot of these people just want to be a distraction. A lot of these people for attention, a lot of them, they just want to take the attention off of you, or either they want to distract you enough to blindside you. And that's a whole issue, because you don't know how you can be responsible for messing up the balance. And you ain't convincing nobody that you happy, hon. You're not. And I think that's disgusting. I think it's disgusting to come on here and do disgusting things, the things that some of these people have done. That's why I was talking about Tina last night. That girl, that lady is disgusting. She come on here trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm just in the love and I'm so cherished. And don't nobody cherish her. Don't nobody cherish her. Don't nobody like her. She is living a life of hate, and trust me, she ain't living no life of damn privilege. Don't nobody, she going through it. She trying to, that's her way of trying to trick and fool people into joining her when she knows that she's sitting over there miserable as all get out. I don't care what she says. Oh, I got some weed. Having weed don't mean you happy. I'm smoking on some weed. Okay, honey. Okay. Yeah, but your actions and what you're doing proves that you're miserable. That's a fact. Been miserable for years. How do you stay in a miserable state of mind for years? It's disgusting. Don't nobody like that girl. Don't nobody like her. Don't nobody like her. Nobody. She wants everybody else to be hated. When you try to produce hate for other people, that's because that's what you're experiencing and you don't want to experience it alone. That's exactly what she's been going through. And I don't know if they've taken that video down. I do believe I'm end up with charges filed against that disgusting lady. She need to be in jail. There was actually a story about this one Mexican lady that did something similar to another Mexican lady, and she ended up in prison. She was literally doing the same exact thing that Tina's been doing. Literally obsessed. I mean, just tried to ruin every aspect of this lady's life. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, she literally, I'm gonna have to find that story. It ain't hard to find it. All I gotta do is Google it. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna get off of here. I got things that I gotta handle and take care of. Y'all be at peace, okay? Bye-bye.